Hey you guys, it is me, Jenna, again. So I was planning on, sorry, it again. I was hoping to do the horror pack clues today, but there's still one more clue that they have to post, so hopefully tomorrow they will have that last clue up. Because I don't know, I kind of like doing the clues for you guys, so. But until then, until we get all the clues up, I'm going to be talking about the 1992 classic, Candyman. Candyman. So I gotta say, I love this movie. Obviously, I love this movie. So I actually did not watch these movies like in order. I actually saw this one, the original one, last. I think I saw like part three first, and then I think maybe the second one, and then I eventually finally saw the original by Clive Barker, who also wrote the novella of Hellraiser. Sorry, I cannot think of like the original title to that because I know it wasn't called Hellraiser or anything. And then he went on to adapt that book to film and has done a ton of other stuff, including like Sleepwalker. Actually, no, he didn't like do Sleepwalkers. I know he cameoed in it, but did a bunch of other stuff, including this, obviously. So yeah, so Candyman. I'll be talking literally only about this one, not the sequels, because it's been a really long time since I've seen the sequels. So like I said, this one came out in '92, starring Virginia Madsen and obviously Tony Todd, who's been in a ton of stuff. One of the many horror icons that we have now. I love that guy. I love his work. And I love his voice. God, perfect Candyman, in my opinion. Like, I can't even picture anyone else being Candyman other than Tony Todd. It's kind of like, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. No disrespect to Jackie Earl Grey, but you ain't Freddy, dude. There's only one Candyman. Tony Todd. So yeah, this movie. So it's kind of, it talks about urban legends and stuff. And, and I don't know if this was necessarily, like, inspired by, like, sorry, my hair is, like, okay, there we go. I'm looking good, right? I look fine. I don't know if it was necessarily, like, inspired by, like, the Bloody Mary, urban legend, but that's certainly what I kind of always think of whenever I watch this movie. I don't think it necessarily was. I think it was inspired by other events and stuff, but I don't know, I always think of Bloody Mary because that was a very popular urban legend for me growing up. Like, you stand in the mirror and you go, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. And Bloody Mary is supposed to, like, pop up. Very similar to this. But yeah, so, little backstory of Candyman himself. So he was a slave, and he fell in love with, like, his owner's, like, daughter or something. And they had, like, this affair and stuff, and the father found out, killed him, and he was then, like, cursed and stuff, and then brings us to present day of, well, actually, he doesn't even, like, go back in time or anything, which is automatically in present day, but present day, you have Virginia Madsen's character who's trying to do her thesis on urban legends and stuff, and she comes across, this Candyman myth, this urban legend, and becomes, like, fascinated with it, very enthralled in it, and wants to, like, figure it out. And I really like this movie because it's actually set in Chicago, and I live in the burbs of Chicago, outside of Chicago. But literally, like, Chicago is, like, a little, like, short train ride away, like, little, like maybe half an hour train ride, if that. Or I could even, like, drive down there, but it's more fun to take the train. So for me, like, and there's a ton of stuff. Like, I know there's a ton of stuff that's been filmed in Chicago. Some of my personal favorite movies This obviously, The Fugitive, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There's a ton of great movies. Blues Brothers, the original Blues Brothers that was set in Chicago. Very big city, great place to film and stuff. A lot of classic stuff was filmed here. Ain't gonna lie, I don't want to pimp out my own city or anything, but but yeah, I think that's a pretty good or pretty good a pretty big reason why I do love this movie. It is definitely like I would have to say one of my top 10 movies of all time. So you know, um, and to me, like I don't know, I wasn't necessarily like scared by this movie, but it is a good a good scare movie. I feel it's good urban legend. I love urban legends. I love that subject matter. And I gotta say too, like because of this movie, like I know it's no longer there. It was torn down shortly after, like a few years after this movie was released. But this movie definitely has made me very fearful of Cabrini Green. For those of you who don't know, like Cabrini Green used to be like a housing project in Chicago, like years and years and years ago. Like I said, it was torn down like shortly after this movie came out, within a few years after this movie came out. Kind of, I guess, sort of like the bad side of like Chicago, one of the bad parts of Chicago. But honestly, to tell you the truth, if Cabrini Green was still standing to this day, I would be like, oh hell no, I'm not going there because Candyman's gonna get me, or I don't know, a game's gonna get me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that area is like any better now at all. If it's like like a little better, not like seedy part of the city. I really honestly have no idea. So if it's not like how it used to be, sorry. Like I said, I have no idea. But like I said, I like even knowing that Cabrini Green has been torn down, I'd still be a little like, I know Candyman's there. No. Like I kind of vaguely remember like hearing my parents kind of talk about it, like when I was younger, like whenever we would go visit my great grandma, who lived in Chicago. Like I don't think we drove past it or anything, because my grandma, she had some money. Didn't give any to us though, because my mom married a Mexican. Um, she was racist like that. We didn't get money. But anyway, back to Candyman. Um, but yeah, that like I don't know, that just terrified me of Cabrini Green. Like I would never ever go there, even if it's still standing. Like I said. Um, oh, what else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. Um, so a few little interesting things about this movie that I don't know, I find interesting. You guys know I love my little fun facts. I know like during filming, like especially with whenever she had like scenes with Tony Todd, I guess Virginia Madsen would be like hypnotized, so she would always like that kind of stare that she would sort of like have, like that was her really being like hypnotized and put like under some sort of like hypnotic spell, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Um, and then the bees that are in this movie. Well, I mean, the artwork, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to really see this, but like, you can see the bees and everything. Because he was like, when the character Candyman, when he was killed, I guess he was like smeared with like a bunch of honey, and all these bees came and like killed him, and then like his hand was chopped off, so he's got like the bloody stumpy hook. Another like nice little like cross urban legend was like the bloody stump, and he had like the hook in his hand and stuff. Filled with urban legends, this movie. But those bees though, like especially like when they were like in his mouth, those were real bees. I think they were like still like really young bees, so they didn't like have their stingers, but I think a couple of them had developed the stingers and like kind of like stung Tony Todd in his mouth. But those were real bees. So for him to do those stunts himself, like I tip my hat off to him, because I would be like, oh hell no, I don't care how much you're paying me, oh hell no, give me a stunt double. give me a stunt double. And Virginia Madsen too. I mean, she had to have those bees too, like shoved down her mouth by Candyman. I once again, if I was her, I'd be like, oh hell no, no, ain't gonna do it. Um, but yeah, it's a good one. I like this one. And it's definitely one. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. And I actually, I don't like. I obviously I had known about this movie for many years before I watched it. Like I said, I had seen like the sequels before I saw this one. But yeah, I mean, I think I saw Candyman probably for the first time, like maybe 10 years ago. So when I was about 22. And I instantly fell in love with it. You know, once again, I think of the subject matter, the, urban legends and stuff. And then also, obviously, being set in Chicago, Chicago's like literally right next door to my house. Well, like right next door, you guys know what I mean. But I love the movie. And I like it because I like that it's not like the typical slasher movie. Like you get you get the like kind of like the slasher kills and stuff, but there is an element of like psychological horror in it, I feel. Especially too, because like, Virginia Madsen character, like she's, at least with me, like I feel like even though as the audience we know like Candyman's being responsible for these killings and stuff, but then it kind of makes it looks like Virginia Madsen's character, like maybe it's just crazy and she's doing it herself, which in a way I kind of like, because at the end of the day, you could almost make the argument of maybe she is, like maybe it's all like this whole Candyman thing is in her head and this like urban legend stuff, like because she's got like the, she's studying it and she's got the background in it. Maybe she's just trying to like pull a fast one. But no, I think it's, like I said, I think it's a good movie to, obviously with the sequels that have come out, you obviously are like, okay, well, you can't really use that argument. But if you're just looking at the first Candyman, I feel like you could easily go one way or the other with the argument of like, oh no, obviously it was Candyman doing these killings, or you could go no, it was Virginia Madsen's character doing these killings, and she was just freaking going nuts. My only little opinion, although I like to think that it is Candyman who actually was doing these killings. Um, but like I said, I see both sides of it. And I think very good points on either end, whether you think it's Candyman who did it, was doing these killings, or Virginia Madsen, Um, and lots of, like, I feel like like, because kind of going back to the whole, like, sort of slasher, aspect of it, I like that it does, like, you know, it definitely satisfies anyone's, like, need for gore, like, I'm not gonna say that like the kills are like the most graphic or anything. They're not, but I just feel like the after effects, like there's blood everywhere and just like so much blood where you're like, dude, that's way too much freaking blood. Um, Although another thing that one small little thing I don't like about this, and of course it involves the dog, because y'all know I'm a dog lover, and that poor Rottweiler got killed trying to like defend the baby. Baby didn't get killed though, just so you know. Sorry. I got my banana shake from O'Brien's. Had to have a little sip. Got my dog addicted to this today, by the way, just so you guys know. They got in and go for peanut butter because turned my peanut into a cannibal. But anyway, enough of my shake. But yeah, so I love this movie. I love it. I would say it's a good movie. Like, even if like I would recommend this for anyone who maybe is like just kind of starting to get into horror, is looking for, just something to kind of watch or whatever. Because a lot of people, I know a lot of people who are like, even might be a few years younger than me, they're like, no, I never really bothered watching horror movies, or I haven't really seen that many. I would recommend this. Actually, I think when my younger nieces, are a little bit older and I get their parents' blessings, I would probably totally show this to them. This would be a good one for them to watch. I think my oldest niece has seen this. I don't know, she's off in college right now and like being a nurse right now, so good for her though. But yeah, good one to watch. Like if you're kind of just a beginner in watching horror movies, I would definitely recommend this. This is one of my favorites. Especially if you're like, dude, everyone always recommends like, you know, Friday 13th and Halloween stuff. Check out this one. If you're like, I don't want to check out what everyone else is checking out. Although I feel like a lot of people check this one out too because it's classic. Check it out. If you haven't checked it out, what the hell's wrong with you? Check it out. And just make sure, you know, you don't turn off the lights and sing Candyman 5 times in the mirror. You don't want Candyman showing up. You're gonna end up in like a friggin' mental institution or going up in flames. Just saying. But yeah, that's my little take on Candyman. So, it's my little spiel about it. So you guys, thanks again for watching. Like it, comment, subscribe to me. And once again, thank you for all of you guys who have been subscribing to me, and including my nieces, my younger nieces, because my nephew decided to tell them I have a YouTube channel. I'm assuming it's my nieces, because I think they hacked into my brother's account. I don't see my brother watching my videos. I could see them watching it. So, thanks ladies, thanks for supporting your Auntie Jen, I appreciate it. And to everyone else who's been subscribing to me and liking to me and commenting. I know I have a couple of comments I have not responded to within the last like day or two. I'm sorry, I'm about to do it. So thank you guys. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment, blah, 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 blah. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you guys. You guys have a great rest of your hump day. And I might see you again tomorrow. You never know.